All right, guys, welcome to the #1 rated video fantasy football show with our fantasy football league, happiest league,
On earth.
on earth. The #1 rated show in this league. To you guys, to us,
Yay.
champions. Goes down smooth.
Always
we
good
got-
to start with the league tradition.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got a couple things we're gonna hit tonight, guys. First things first. I have some things I want to talk about, like our bets. I
You
wanted
want
to talk about.
them?
You want to talk about them? We all want to talk about them.
All right. I love talking about bets. What do you want to talk about?
Well, might as well kick it off with the Overlord, huh?
I guess I'm important that way.
Yeah. So choo.
All right. So the big thing is, as usual, the league has been kind of quiet all off season because we're real good at planning and getting the league ready in time. So one aspect of the league that we are great at is betting, but we implemented card bets a couple seasons ago. We probably need new ones. So I'm going to say just WhatsApp me some new ones. I can try rolling over some old ones. The problem with that is last year we had some complaints about some of them were too mean. There was more drinking ones in there. We're hoping the card bets are alternatives, the silly ones. Some of them are silly drinking ones that we do like I'm sure the sports bra yoga pants one will get repeated. Some of the water
It
to the
should.
face ones are hilarious, they're fine. Some of the rules to just avoid for this one, try not to do any, if it's going to affect at work, we're just not going to do it. We don't want to do that whole process last year of, oh, well, I'm going to pick 2 card bets I'm out of. I really don't want to have to do that this year. So try to make them silly and fun, embarrassing, just not, I can't go to work looking like a retard or like Gary. Those are 2 things you don't want to have to go to work looking like. Okay.
And then
Right. So that's pretty much the call out. We need card bets. I don't think we used all of the ones last year. There's a few. We tried. There's a push at the end, mostly probably by Special K. So in some ways, we know Special K is definitely the league better at this point, both cards and total bets. Not that it worked out for him. And if he was good at paying attention to bets, he would know I can't actually switch him draft picks anymore. But I'm not going to outright say it. Idiot. So that's kind of the call out. We need card bets, make them silly, make them fun. The league still, as far as I know, there's been no change to the minimum rule. So the year, I think it's 20, which should at least have been upped to 2 bets a week average, which.
Yep.
It did not get upped as far as I know. Not that it can't by the start of the season, because the foreskins can do whatever they want as far as I know. So 20 bets a season. There is no current requirement to have a card bet that I remember.
There is not.
That was another suggestion, is that we should try to up the minimum. And on that note, just to give you, there was some weak performances. The lowest was 24 total bets last year. So in a 14-week season, we should ideally at least shoot for 28, which was the 3rd lowest score, and that was Bill. The lowest score was Chris Deering, not Special K. He was the most.
I'll throw out a suggestion real quick. Maybe
call.
each year, the minimum required becomes what the lowest one was the year before. So the lowest one last year was 24.
So that would be the minimum this year.
Yeah.
Right. And it
That's
should
a cool
always
idea.
go up, though.
Yeah, unless someone manages to hit
Well,
the minimum
if you get
and not do
24,
anymore.
Right. Well, then we should probably go through just general bet rules just real quick, because this always gets it's attached to the front of the spreadsheet. I already have a new spreadsheet, but I haven't sent it out. So I'll have to do that eventually. So let's just quickly run some of these have been mentioned. Must participate in 20 individual bets by the end of the season. Failure to comply will result in probation and potential expulsion. So you do not ever want to be below the lowest, because we might just kick you out because you're no fun and we don't like you anymore. Regular bets, so just the drink bets, the ones that don't specifically say card. You can make other ones like last year, somebody straight out bet, strike out. Rashad, not knowing what it was, had to do it twice because there was an order, which was hilarious.
It was
But
great.
regular bets, payment must occur before the first games on Sunday. We specify the 10 a.m. slot. We are not caring about Europe, next, whatever other games. It's the first normal scheduled game. So it's 10 a.m. for part of the season. Then the rest of the country observes some stupid thing where they change their clocks. Then it's 11 a.m. So the second half of the season, it's later, but all bets have to be paid up. All regular bets have to be paid up by the start of games on Sunday. So you will know the result of your bets by the end of Monday night game. You have less than a week basically to pay those up. Also, in some cases, it literally specifies 6 days after scores are official, excludes any silly early overseas games. So that's already been covered. Regular bets, if not paid on time, shot or chug penalty is added for every day overdue. First penalty occurs at game start Sunday. Second penalty is assigned at 12 a.m. Monday, and so on. Card bets, our new favorite. Payment is due 10 days after scores are final Thursday of next week. Just to be me being in quality, I'm very good at specifying very specifically when things are due so people get it straight. So it's 10 days after scores are final. Thursday of the next week is generally the rule unless there's some sort of postponed thing. Card bets, if not paid on time, we're going to keep it. No reason to change it. Death nut punishment is added.
Well, hold on. We have to buy a new Death Nut set.
Well, we'll buy it when they add it, I guess. Like if somebody actually fails, we'll just buy it then.
Okay.
So I'll make sure as I keep reading, because to clarify, doing the Death Nut does not get you out of your card bet.
That is right.
You are doing the Death Nut in addition to your card bet. On top of that, for every 10 days after receiving the Death Nut punishment, an additional card will be added as further punishment for being such a disappointment to the league and bet overlord. We kind of generally call that the spear rule, just as a tradition of people that suck at paying card bets on time get terrible rules named after them. So that is the original one. So if we have to order a Death Nut, it's not for the Death Nut punishment. It is for the original card. They have to pay the original card. You don't know how. Maybe I have to make a rule of how soon you have to do the Death Nut. I guess I'll probably give you 10 days after we get the Death Nut to you. And then at that point, I'll assign more Death Nuts, I guess, or more card bets. I'll figure something out. Season hasn't started, rules can change. But those are the rules for now. I think that's pretty much bets. If anybody has other bet suggestions, bet rules, we want the foreskins or the league just agrees, hey, let's up the minimum, do it. The season doesn't start for a few weeks. As long as we get a decent amount of agreement, or the foreskins technically should have the rule ability to just make the rules change in time.
Yep.
Ideally, you would have done it before everybody signed up for the draft, but we're slow and not great at this. I think that's it. Anybody got bet questions, bet suggestions?
Yeah, I want to throw one in, one that was on there a couple of years ago. Loser has to pay for and caddy a round of golf for the winner.
Okay.
Add it in.
Only
At like, a low-end muni course. We're not trying to go to Troon and pay $200 for green fees or whatever.
yeah, I've got a couple in mind. Specifically like card bet wise, because Special K, through his chance at getting a good draft pick,
Mm-hmm.
the reason I mentioned that I can't take it is that the way that it was worded, which I could technically argue even worse, is that it was originally worded as, suddenly terrible at operating a computer. Was winner reserves the right to swap draft pick choices with the loser next year. I read that as the intention was when Richie asked, hey, where do you want to draft because of the spot you earned? That's when I could have took Chris's thing. That's why I can't actually take his pick anymore, because it was draft choice. I will probably submit something to that effect where, so you can't throw your draft thing, you just swap one round of your draft. So if he throws it like this again, or anybody throws it, and he has the 11th pick, I'm taking his second round pick and he can have my first. So if I'm the first pick and the idiot that lost this card bet to me is the 12th pick, I am taking his second pick and he will get mine at the end of the round. That's what I'm probably going to change that card to. So that if you're going to throw your bets and just be like, hey, I lost a bet, I'm going to find my way to be the Weasley way out of it. I'm going to make that thing stick. And so I may word it as it's this bet of last year where it's either that pick, but if they get such a sucky pick, you can reserve the right to take swap one of the rounds and not two. Because like most draft trades are, oh, if I'm going to trade you a draft round, oh, let's swap second and third or something like that. Nah, single round, just fuck over the loser. So I think that's it for bets, unless you guys have something.
No, I'm good.
Yep.
All right.
Good too. All right, let's get into the next segment, which is, I wanted to talk, you already kind of alluded to it by talking about last season's bets, Chewy. Who will dominate this year's bets, like issued bets? Who will issue the most bets? And then conversely, who will be the bet bitch by accepting as many bets as possible this year? I want to start first before you guys get into it. So there's two possible answers there. Or for me, I'm going to say one. I think there's going to be one person on top of this, and it's going to be Special K. I think he's going to throw out the most bets because he still believes that card is in effect, Chewy, about him possibly switching the picks with you.
Yep.
And he said that he's going to make your life hell by making so many bets this year for the Overlord. So I believe Special K is going to be the winner of both of these. He's going to dominate the most bets, and then he's also going to accept the most bets just to fuck with you.
What if just no one offers Chris bets? Then he can't hit the minimum and no one accepts bets that he offers. He automatically can't hit the minimum, and then he'll get kicked out of the league.
Oh.
I like this idea. This is my favorite idea. Yeah, like that's the thing. That's the only thing that would stop Chris is people accepting them, because there's nothing about issue bets. They have to be accepted, because we're not gonna make a rule that's like issued, because you could just issue shitty bets. Like nobody wants to take your dumb bets because you're a pussy and you're lopsided, or you're afraid Deontay Swift is gonna suck and you just sit out your bet all the time. I think I got the name wrong, but Swift. Let's just say D Swift.
Is that a new player?
Probably.
New
I've decided to step my game up. I am researching high school kids that will be here in like 6 years.
Nice.
I think that means you're not allowed to be 500 feet from a high school.
Well, I don't go to the schools. You can do everything online. Yeah. Along with that murder conviction Spear got me on. Like worst defense ever.
So
yeah, the argument is like that's the only way to stop Chris. Like he outperformed everybody in bets he was in by 30 or 29 technically, and I was the next one.
What was his number at the end of the season?
This may be why he did it. Was I know he was getting close, so he hit 100 exactly. And at one point in the season, I think he realized he was getting like he could do it, so he just did that. He went.
You know what? I could see Chris is that person. If he sees a number, like he knows that he can reach a certain number, he's going to hit it. So
right. Because just as a quick, I was the next one at 71, probably because Chris was targeting me a lot. Like there was some, like he got Gary in there, but because the other reason the next three highest is all of us. So it's me at 71 and then the two of you at 61 tied. And a lot of that was because we did a lot of video bets. We counted our we're going to weekly pick as one bet, even though we drank like 4 or 5 weekly because of our terrible ability to pick.
My terrible ability to pick, but yeah.
Yeah, mostly you. Carver
Yeah.
and I started like competing. I got a little better.
We're gonna run that back again this year, right?
Oh yeah, of course. I
Yeah,
don't know why we
absolutely. 100%.
Same terms,
Yeah.
everything cool.
wouldn't. That's our staple for sure.
You guys will just know there's something on the line from the get-go, so you'll try. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there won't be a halfway through this.
Yeah.
Hey, let's
You know
just
what?
make up a
Carver's
bet.
ahead by like 18 picks. Let's just keep going. Let's
Yeah.
let's
that's how
take
I
the things out.
got this bad.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
the same bottle. But, yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's the one I
going
got.
back to your thing, Matt. I mean, there's no way it's not Chris. There's no way he doesn't dominate the most bets issued, and there's no way that he doesn't accept the most.
Yeah.
You know what? I think this makes a fun opportunity because I'm willing. I will do a card punishment if somebody outdoes Chris this year.
You will do the card if somebody outdoes Chris.
In either of those categories, either issues more than Chris or accepts more than Chris.
I'm gonna go with bets he
Issue.
is in. Like he accepted bets is what I'm doing. You have to outdo the amount of accepted bets Chris is in, which could go either way. People could just not accept bets with Chris, like you talked about. So it's double screwing 2 people. It screws Chris and it screws me.
Hey,
So
I
I'm
will
giving.
say though, like all kidding aside though, he did 100 bets.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. Like he had the most. We watched his video of him eating the freaking death nut and doing his press conference.
That
That is still one of the best videos we've ever had in this league. It was great. So, all joking aside, good job, Chris. But yeah, I think we all agree. We believe he's the guy to win that title, right? Both of them.
I will have one caveat to my rule because it's me. I will not do a card bet punishment if I outdo him
Oh, bitch.
because I will see this coming and I'm going to write that out because if you think you're going to get me, I will do the bets.
all right.
Especially
right.
since I already have the reputation for being the guy that drinks probably the most ridiculous combinations and stuff we do. Like Chris does the most bets, but when it comes to actual drinking, I seem to be the lunatic of the group.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Yep.
Who will accept the least amount of bets this year? Let's start with Carver. Who do you think is going to accept the least amount of bets this year?
I mean, the usual suspects are Brooks, Nielsen, Sean, and Richie. I would say they're the top 4 of least
Okay.
accepted. I mean, I'm gonna say Andy Brooks just because he seems to, be the busiest. But I'm also gonna call him out. Like, Brooks, man, you're back in the league. Show out, come out swinging, and be a bet monster this year. Or, maybe not a monster, just not as
Middle of the road.
yeah.
No. Be a monster. Take out Chris. Take
Yeah.
out Special K. So
Yeah.
be a monster. All right. So Carver's got Brooks as the least amount of bets. What about you, Shu?
I mean, Carver did nail pretty much the low 4, except Bill is in there because the other low one is gone. So it was Deering we lost, right? I suddenly forgot, right?
Yeah.
So on a plus side, we only have 1 Chris now. We also only have 1 Andy, which isn't as fun because Andy Mason was fun. So Chris Deering was the lowest. Bill was, so it was, of the people still remaining, it was Richie, Prashawn, Bill, and Matt Nielsen.
Yes.
Richie last year, I mean, usually he's better at the video, so I don't know how it affects the bets, but I believe he's done with school. So I'm not going to choose Richie. I think he's going to be better overall this year as far as participation. No, he's not done with school.
No, he's done with school. You're putting faith in it to grow.
There is that. I did host the entire, I think it's all the DeGrow siblings at my house for games, and that was interesting.
Was
Do
that
it
a card
again.
that you lost?
No, that was for Richie's 40th, which was actually a great time. No, the DeGros are all right. I just, you don't give them credit for anything because it's going to go straight to their heads. I don't know. It's probably still one of those four guys, excluding Richie, I think, because he was actually of those the highest of the four. I'm gonna call out Bill because Bill, I expect him to actually do better because last year was his first year and he didn't really he was just kind of timid and stuff, and he at least used that excuse or something to that effect. That's just how I remember it.
It's funny because we had two newbies in the league last year, right? We had Bill, Bill, little Billiam, right? And then we had Special K, who's just like, fuck it, I'm taking every bet.
Right. Yeah.
Polar opposites.
Very much so.
Yeah, Chris came in like, I'm keeping my spot in this league. I'm going to earn it just by drinking. And Bill got in here like, do I really have to participate? Like, is this really what this league is about? Yes, Bill, this is what the league is about. Like, It's not really about fantasy football. It's about the bets. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think you're doing it for fantasy football.
So Carver's got Andy. You have Bill.
Yep.
I, just like you guys, I broke it down like you did. Deering's out. We all know this. So I think, unfortunately, part of the Mats versus the world, I think Nielsen will be bringing up the rear there. Just least amount of bets is going to be Nielsen.
Nielsen, step your game up. Step your Matt name game up and accept bets.
Maybe this is a bet right here. I took Nielsen. You took Brooks. Chewy, you took hold on. My son's coming in the room. What's up, bud?
Well, he deals with that. Carver, you said your card bet was pay in caddy around the golf.
I'll be right back.
Yes.
Come on, dude.
In that 40 to $50 range max for the green fees. Cheaper, preferred.
Right. Yeah. We try not to make these financially burdensome.
Okay. So maybe that should be a bet though, guys. What do you think?
I mean, there's no maybe. It is.
It is. You guys made it official?
Sure. So let's see. That is lowest bet total, accepted bet total. What are we doing it for? I didn't hear.
So there's three of us. I think it should be 2 shots, 2 chugs, 1 shot, 1 chug, and then nothing for the guy who wins it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Works for me.
Cool.
Classic.
All right. Now to move it on. One last thing that we're going to talk about in this little segment. Who will send out the least amount of bets? I'll kick it off here. Chewy, you talked about him already. Bill. I think Bill's going to send out the least amount of bets this year. Not that Chewy's keeping track of this. I just think Bill doesn't make bets. He'll accept bets, but like you already alluded to, Chewy, he's timid. Hopefully he's going to be a little bit more outgoing this year, and he'll be like, you know what, I'm going to make this bet, and it'll be more than a Scrabble bet with Spear and whatever, them touching each other. I don't know what cousins do, but that's my guess. The least amount of bets sent out, Bill. Chew, who do you think?
Well, since Bill is my lowest, I think I'll take your pick because it's probably Nielsen, because a lot of his bets last year wasn't he who Andy was with. And once Andy was like, hey, I don't have to manage a team, I'm going to make bets.
Yeah.
So Andy made most of the bets for Matt. So if Nielsen can stop potentially serial killing people and hiding them in his backyard or wherever he does it, he could issue bets instead. Like, replace one addiction with another. That's all I'm suggesting, Matt.
And Carver, who do you got?
I was gonna go Nielsen too. I'll go Brooks again. I'll do Brooks for both of mine. But I'm also gonna issue a bet here and now
To who?
to Matt Nielsen and Andy Brooks, if I say that the two of them combined can't issue more bets than the third lowest, right? So I think Matt and Andy will be 1 and 2 on third lowest bets issued. I say they can't issue more between the two of them than the third lowest guy can by himself. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, just have a lawyer go over the verbiage exactly so Chewy can
Oh.
have it written out.
So let's say Bill issues the third least bets, right? And he issues 20. I'm
Okay.
saying that Matt and Andy can't issue 20 between the two of them. And if I'm wrong, I'll do a shot and chug. And if they accept it and they don't surpass the third place guy by themselves or combined, then they each have to do a shot and chug. I'll do 2 shots, 2 chugs for the two of them, and they have to do 1 each.
You got that, Chew?
No.
It's
Write it out, Carver.
Bet-
Write it out.
Bet issued, and we can
Yeah.
go over
Yeah.
it.
Let me try. No, I had it for a second. So it is, you are saying that Nielsen and Andy will not combine for more than the next lowest issuer.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So
The goal this year, guys, is to make the bets as complicated as possible so that Chewy, his brain explodes. So
he's got all the time in the world, right, Chew?
I used to. No, I'm very busy. At least I'm,
now he's juggling 4 breasts.
I am, and they're large.
That'll be another topic.
Different
All right.
video.
Yeah, different video. All right, moving on. So that was what I wanted to talk about with the bets. Let's play a game, guys. Cue the cheesy like intro music. Here we go.
Hold on. We're gonna need to cut this and save it for part 2
Okay.
because we're definitely gonna run out of time. So stay tuned for Matt's super original, never been thought of before game.
Never. No other like fantasy football people. No, nobody ever.
You'll catch it in video 2. See you then.